Thank you very much, Quick Shot. I'm fully connected today, as is Caedrel. Hopefully we can move forward, smooth sailing, no issues. Hopefully the only insanity we have on the LEC today is in the game. And again, yeah, I think good move.
Fingers
there,
crossed, fingers crossed. You can
fingers
hear me,
crossed.
yeah? You can hear me, we're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
I hear you, you hear me. Everything's going to be just fine. And we're kicking off with BDS versus Misfits. You heard it from the desk already. It's going to be a pretty exciting one. And story of rookies, really, when we think about it. Good to hear from Grabs about how his project is developing. Heard from Carter earlier in the week as well. Both these teams obviously trying to find their footing here in the LEC. And a little bit of rivalries between some of these players, too. NUCLEARINT and Limit, obviously, previously on Schalke. Neon, previously on Schalke as well. He tweeted out earlier today, figuring out who the problem on Schalke No Fear was today.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Who's the problem? Loser is the problem. Loser takes all the blame for what happened last year. And the winner, of course, comes out on top. I think we're getting a lot of battle of ex-teammates in the LEC. Whether it's Fnatic and Vitality, whether it's BDS and Misfits, so many players have shuffled around. They've either been around for so long, or they're on a team together in the ERL and they brought up in different teams. They always seem to face off against each other.
Absolutely, and of course, one of our most biggest, wow, good at English today. That's the name of the game, being good at English. One of our biggest off seasons, it feels like, in terms of overall roster changes. But now as we head into picks and bans, gonna keep an eye on the strategies that come out. Blanc already banned away, Twisted Fate gonna follow. Now NUCLEARINT, one of those star performers from BDS so far, alongside Cinkrof. So really curious to see how Misfits try to limit the pool of champions that he can bring to the table, limit some of the impact that those players are allowed to have.
Yeah, fun fact for everyone at home, NUCLEARINT damage share in 2 games, 34% of his team's damage across those 2 games. Adam, Matty, Cinkrof all hovering between 22 and 18% in that kind of general area, but no, NUCLEARINT on 34% damage dealt. And Syndra LeBlanc, of course, champions to shine on, and has definitely been the shining point of BDS alongside Cinkrof and Adam, generally the top side. But as you said, battle of the ex-teammates, Neon versus Limit. And NUCLEARINT. Diana Ban is going to come in from BDS. That leaves open Thresh. That leaves open a lot of junglers. All ADs are up. Caitlyn taken down.
So that is going to be it. Just to get the cash curse in there, there will be one final AD ban. See what BDS want to go for here. It is going to be the Zhao pickup for Cinkrof. Cinkrof, again, really strong first performance up against Fnatic. Huge individual CS discrepancy. Second game, him and NUCLEARINT definitely key to winning. It was a bit of a slugfest. But Misfits Gaming, I like this. Setting Neon up for success by going for a high priority AD like the Aphelios. Haven't really seen that much Aphelios in the LEC yet. So ready to see what Mersa and Neon can do on this. And already it feels like we have a very bot-focused draft just based on those 2 picks.
Yeah, also interesting draft because Thresh has been picked away early, so now Team BDS can full counter bot lane. The only worry they might run into is Jarvan on 3rd pick. They can't have Thresh to secure their AD, so they might pick a mobile AD carry here like an Ezreal, maybe look for some kind of Yuumi lane, or just go Jhin Leona, full brute force. There's the Ezreal pick. The reason they're picking this is because they're scared of Jarvan on 3. There's the Ezreal Yuumi, and now Shlatan maybe goes for Vetheo instead. Drop that, but a nice little trap Misfit setup. BDS read it well.
And I gotta say, Limit's ruining a lot of narratives right now. Last year he was the, and as long as he's been in the LEC, honestly, he's been the big engage player, kind of one of the Alistair Kings of the LEC. Yesterday was Soraka, today it is the Yuumi. This man adjusting his approach to the game, but I like it. It means the bot lane will play really well on an island, and Yuumi scales very well into the game, especially when she can mount up onto his Zhao. But no J4 pick going to come through. Instead, blind pick top laner for HiRit. HiRit, a story of feast or famine. The Aurelia really good, the Gnar really bad.
I would like to see Irelia Graves ban if they're going to do a Jayce on 3 here. They have 2 bans to commit into Adam. Of course, we know he plays Olaf and Darius and things along these lines. His Irelia wasn't too shabby. I'm sure he's been practicing some Graves top. We saw Broken Blade play it. We see it in the eastern regions as the counter to Jayce. There's the Irelia ban. Hoping for 2 bans for this Jayce, and then maybe they can play up towards the top side. Look for some kind of Ryze pick perhaps, or Sylas, some kind of global that can roam towards top lane. Really powerful side lanes already for Misfits, but of course dropping their jungler, so BDS can ban away Vetheo. I think Jarvan ban, not so much necessary, but they can commit 2 bans towards the jungle. Talon also jumps to mind when I think of AD junglers.
Definitely an option. Ton of AD on the side of Misfits already. Akali going to be taken off the board as well. Maybe respecting a potential flex pick there. We've seen a decent amount of Akali top, not so much Akali mid. That is just looking internationally. Champion that has not seen play yet domestically here in the LEC, but Really taking their time on these solo lane bans, expecting one more from the side of Misfits alongside a jungler in terms of picks to come, and both solo lanes for BDS yet to be selected.
Yeah, taking away Corki there to deny a lot of poke. Think of Ezreal, Corki, Yuumi, that's a lot of poke, a lot of range that Misfits will have to deal with, and not so much gap close on their side. Just touching on the Akali, Genji versus Damwon happened today. Incredible series, I recommend watching it. Akali was picked in one of the games and flexed between two solo lanes on 4 on red side. Maybe BDS want to make sure there's no kind of Jayce Akali flex or just Akali blind pick or counter pick to what they might want to pick in mid. There's the Gragas ban coming out. Targeted at Shlatan. Interesting Gragas ban. Maybe there's some kind of Gragas top tech and Jayce mid.
Alternatively, maybe there's something going on in scrims where the Jayce is much more frequently going mid for the likes of Vetheo. After the Gragas top we saw yesterday, can go tank, can go full AP. We've seen both build pass across the few games that Gragas has been selected here. But Misfits taking their time on this lock-in, debating what they want to go for. Jungler makes a ton of sense. Save that last pick.
Yeah, they're going to go for the Jarvan anyway into the Ezreal Yuumi. Not the greatest, especially if they find a mid lane with mobility. What mid lanes are up with mobility, I wonder. Team BDS probably thinking about that. Syndra would be good into the Jarvan to cancel the combo, but with LeBlanc and Corki down, or you're left with are things like Sylas, but do you really want to blind pick a champion like Sylas? Maybe they'll find something else, but we also saw Fudge playing Jayce mid in the LCS, but there's the Syndra to stop the Jarvan combo, and now it's up to Adam what he wants to blind pick top.
Anyone else starts hovering weird stuff, I'm like, okay, probably not going to pick it. We start seeing weird hovers for Adam. I start to sweat. I'm not going to lie. I wonder, is it real? Will he play it? Obviously, known for his staples, but when he busted out the Aurelia too, I'm starting to think that his champion pool is expanded in a couple different ways. And please, yes, lock this in. And if you don't understand why this is good, look at the enemy composition. Misfits Gaming, 3 AD damage sources. Sion can stack full armor and be completely fine, and there are not a lot of AP carries left that are going to be able to deal enough damage to get through a Sion. Sylas is not one of them.
Yeah, Sylas was the pick because then you can play early game heavy towards top side mid, play for the Jayce. Sylas Rise come to mind, but you're completely right. Is the Sylas really going to get through that Sion, that Xin Zhao, the Yuumi healing through all of them while Ezreal's poking you? I worry that he might not be able to. Something like Victor would be more reliable, but then you also have to think, well, Victor is going to struggle in the range department against Ezreal Yuumi. Syndra stuns, even if Sion's in his face, you know, we've seen a lot of tanks go Anathema's Chains, pop it on the AP champ, build full armor, happy days, but well-rounded comp from BDS, really good team fight, really good scaling. Not so many sides to play towards, but Cinkrof will be playing through mid with NUCLEARINT, really strong mid jungle. Both side lanes quite weak and vulnerable, we'll have to cover them. And Misfits 2 pushing side lanes, really early game jungler. It's just a case of which mid jungle wins. If Vetheo and Shlatan get the mid push, they can really dive side lanes. If NUCLEARINT and Cinkrof shut them down, then they can scale for free.
Definitely some good options, but I love the focus initially on jungle mid. We saw Cinkrof and NUCLEARINT already have 2 pretty solid games, all things considered. Shlatan and Vetheo, we're still waiting kind of for Misfits, it feels like, to come online as a 5-man unit, but it's time to get in the game. BDS versus Misfits.
And before you say anything, Drakos, I just want to highlight that Damwon series one more time, because Ezreal Yuumi was picked in that series. You know what Lehens countered it with? He countered it with Singe support, and they won the game. It was really int for the first 40 minutes until he flipped Showmaker in the last fight, and they won. But yeah, a lot of creative picks. Yuumi is rising really high in the priority. We saw first pick Yuumi in the LCK. We saw Samira Nautilus picked into Yuumi. We've seen Singed lanes. We've seen Perks try Mordekaiser AD carry into it. We all remember what happened there. Didn't work out so well when he TP'd up the top, I remember. But still, creative examples, creative ideas to try and counter this bloody cat.
I love that you brought that up, and I also hate that you brought that up. Please don't play Singed in solo queue if you are playing on EU West. If you want to play on EUNE, NA, the Korea, the Ionia server, follow your dreams. But as long as I'm playing on EU West, keep that crap out of my solo queue games. That said...
they have Yuumi. Oh, Singed is open. Yeah, let me first time it. Oh, went 0-10 and I lost the game. Oh, no. What a shame. What a shame.
Anyway, taking check-in on the map state, a good vision being placed down here by Misfits on that level 1 means they know exactly where the Xin Zhao is starting. Still room for some creative pathing from Cinkrof if he wants to get tricky, but Adam fully expected to just sit and weather the storm as the weak side top laner. Bottom side got a first strike on Ezreal for xMatty, pairing alongside Limit. I imagine that might be a little bit of a quiet lane phase too. Jungle mid, again, what you talked about in champ select and where we kind of have to keep our focus.
Yeah, Jayce will have auto push top. There's really no setup for Cinkrof in this Jayce lane until Adam maybe hits level 6. He'll be able to zone Adam away and should get a CS lead. Maybe look for some tower plates, but Jayce will be vulnerable at the Sion 6. Alternatively, in bot side again, Cinkrof, what setup does he have in an Ezreal Yuumi lane? None. So he's there to cover, and it's all about mid lane, mid jungle. As long as NUCLEARINT has the push, both his side lanes should be fine from dives. Mersa levels up.
Mersa, level 2, good side step on the hook from xMatty now going in. Play comes back, good damage onto xMatty anyway. Mersa also getting ticked down though, Ignite ticking. Will be able to walk away, instantly cracking some pots, has a biscuit as well, but overall, not a bad trade. That said, it's Thresh's health for Ezreal's health, so overall, not horrible for Misfits.
Yeah, not too bad. They were level 1 and they won out on the trade. And my eyes are on Shlatan this game, because when you watch Jarvans around the world, mainly LPL and LCK is what I've been watching, they will always gank. Pre-5 minutes, they've got 2 or 3 ganks off. Even today, Canyon did red into mid gank, ran to his blue, got blue, ran to mid, got a gank, went to Grom, ganked bot, went back mid, right? So Jarvan as a champion will always clear slower than practically every jungler past first or second base. He won't scale very well. His job is just to EQR and get his team ahead. So sacrificing camps and trying to play for your lanes is what you need to do. So hopefully Shlatan can find something soon.
And again, I think shutting down the BDS lineup as quickly as you can is a very big deal. We know what Ezreal and Yuumi can do together, and Adam feels like this inevitable threat. You don't look at a tank often as a big scaling threat, but the sheer amount of AD on the enemy team just makes his life so incredibly easy if we do get to those front-to-back team fights at any point in the game.
Shlatan going to take top crab here. I think Neon and Mersa just took bot crab as 2. So no crab for Cinkrof to take. Ward on his Gromp respawn. Really good information there from Shlatan. Double crab denied. Cinkrof will base. As I say that, maybe he wants to put a ward down of his own.
He hits the bloom, he's going to reveal where he's at. Maybe looks to take Krugs. Has the double buff to Shlatan's only got the blue right now.
Oh, he could prop the E there. Shlatan's wondering if he's going to go for it. He can E over the wall, but he'd get collapsed on by HiRit. Still yet to base for both junglers. Mersa has base and he's running back to lane. Vetheo similarly. So just standard laning coming out here. Misfits obviously slightly ahead because both side lanes should win in isolation.
Keeping that pressure up really across the board. Only now are xMatty and Limit able to get the push back as Mersa is not in the area. He's not going to roam mid or anything else. He will just return to bottom lane. We'll keep that tracked. NUCLEARINT, the one strong point of the map for now, at least in these early levels, he can just push without much contention from Vetheo. But Vetheo coming back now. Dark Seal some boots. Maybe going to start to fire back. Is HiRit getting aggressive? Running low on mana. The shield coming in now for Adam.
Oh,
trying to
Mersa.
poke him out of lane. Mersa running for his life. That's the flash down. Neon looking for the follow-up. He can try and find the snare, but it looks like it's on cooldown. Will not get a chance to activate the Gravitum.
A lot of trading happening on both sides there. HiRit getting the better trade top. Almost looking for a solo kill onto Adam there in the 2v2. Quite explosive. Matty fought to flash. If Mersa had Ignite there, maybe they could have gotten the kill, but Limit still had the heal up. NUCLEARINT trying to get some information. And we're back to a quiet game. Everyone's going to base and run back to their respective lanes. Junglers on their second clears. Cinkrof only has a Ruby Crystal in base, whereas Shlatan got an Iron Spike whip. Surprised Cinkrof only got a Ruby Crystal on his base after getting, I think, a full clear off. So curious what happened there. But anyway, Shlatan should be clearing faster for now at least.
Yeah, well, as you highlighted earlier, there was the coordinated crab steal from Neon and Mersa, so maybe a little bit behind where he wanted to be there in terms of his first back. That said, going to be about a 2-camp discrepancy, it looks like, as Zhao is now finally going to walk down to those Krugs. Mersa starting to get out of bot lane, starting to roam a little bit more. Certainly one of the strengths that Thresh has over Yuumi in the early game. And Dragon now going to be the focus for Misfits, so making use of their strong early lanes just to take this objective relatively uncontested. Don't think anyone on the side of BDS is going to feel too comfortable pushing up into that pit.
As expected, bot has to push. Top has to push. The only person that has to be careful now is HiRit, but Cinkrof is on the bot side of the map, but he's still just catching the wave safely. So, quick Dragon over to Misfits. That'll get the Dragons rolling. 5 minutes on the next one. Maybe expect a soul by around 22 minutes, 23 minutes if Misfits keep pumping those Dragons out. Mersa looks for a hook there.
And I'll be honest, raw Thresh hook and competitive on low ping, very, very difficult thing to do there. xMatty giving him the respective flash away, but pretty hard for him to land, especially into a champion as mobile as the Ezreal. But of course, the Lantern always going to offer a lot of utility, so still happy to see the Thresh pick, even if it is going to be a little bit difficult to connect on some of that CC.
The fun thing about the Thresh is the mind game when it comes to the hook. You walk up to them and you hold it, hold it, hold it, and then when it's the stare down of the hook, hang on a second, HiRit.
HiRit now running. He's sped up here. NUCLEARINT going on as well. We pan back to the top side of the map. The flash forward. No Cinkrof on top of him. HiRit, there should be no way out of this one. The knockup coming in. HiRit going to grab the kill. Flash is a Fnatic logo on top of that. Good first blood for the side of BDS.
Yeah, as expected, Adam level 6. There is kill pressure onto the Jayce. HiRit was looking for some kind of ward there, and Adam cut him off. Cinkrof was around. Maybe he felt safe because his mid-jungle was in the area, but they weren't as close as BDS's. And Mersa's taking a bad trade here.
Oh, I like the leap forward. Confidence from xMatty. xMatty and Limit going to fire back onto Neon and Caedrel. It looks like Limit might not have been the problem.
Definitely not, huh? You love to see it. The Ezreal Yuumi gets a 2v2 kill 7 minutes in. Neon and Mersa are playing so aggressive and so in their face, and we were just talking about Thresh hooks. There's a mind game involved in Thresh hooks. I could sidestep forwards into you, and you'll miss. Or you can try to predict me running away in the straight line that I'm going. Or I'll just E in your face and you're going to miss anyway. And you're going to die. That's what Matty said. So now Mersa did die and ran up towards the top side. Herald is spawning, so he does have tempo because he died and ran out of base. We'll see if HiRit's in trouble here again, because Cinkrof's going to find him.
Cinkrof found him. Adam, no ulti. He has an ignite for the fight. If necessary here, just going to back away. Wait for Shlatan to come in and back him up. HiRit has some decent damage there. At level 7 with the serrated Dirk. Hard in the individual 1v1, but Cinkrof's still going to be relatively squishy, all things considered. Misfits really trying to brute force this. It will be a full-on 4v4 if BDS can get in the position here.
Limit on the way, trying to find someone to attach to. Cinkrof has no flash, he has to be careful.
Leaping in, trying to instantly delete the jungler, and they're going to be able to find it. Cinkrof caught out, and that means all of BDS are going to need to retreat from this one, but that's the hook. Adam, waiting on the flag, taking their time here, is going to pull him back. Cataclysm with the follow-up. NUCLEARINT over the wall. Massive 3-man scatter the weak. Now Zombie Sion coming out. Misfits have to be careful here. Big Zombie damage. Sion. Kill traded back. No, Shlatan just barely able to make it out. Yuumi ult now coming in. Vetheo really fully commit for this. Both sides backing away. Ultimately, it's the Herald for Misfits.
Yeah, 2 for 1 in favor of Misfits as well, so very positive play for them. HiRit ended up losing his life. NUCLEARINT was looking for a turn there. I believe Limit leveled up on the kill, so he had ultimate, tried to find Mersa, who was level 5, but in the end, they're just going to back off. They get the objective. Vetheo gets himself a kill, which is so important on the Sylas, as we highlighted in draft. He's the only AP damage. He's gonna need to go full AP here because he's the one who has to deal with Adam. And as we look at the replay, Cinkrof just really out of position, I think.
Absolutely. The leap in, the instant CC chain. Again, Adam, a little bit of early armor, going to go a long way, but Cinkrof does not have that luxury. Mersa finally able to land one of those hooks, makes for an easy follow-up. Good news for BDS is that this excellent scatter of the week does mean that they can trade a little bit back here, but ultimately definitely not the exchange that they were looking for.
Yeah, massive stun, and there's the turn that the Limit thought they could go for. Dragon in 1 minute. BDS probably want to set up towards the bot side. Misfits 2 for 0 right now in neutral objectives. Even though they're a kill down, they're sitting pretty happy. HiRit has lifesteal, so he should be able to keep on winning out against Adam. But the tankier and tankier the Sion gets, the harder it is and more annoying it is for the Jayce. Adam.
Knockback there. Good damage. Adam going in. Goes a little bit wide there, waiting on the next charge of the decimating smash.
Solo Bolo.
You're out of reliable CC here, but will be fast enough just to walk away. No, Roar the Slayer going to connect. That's the knock up. The shield coming in. Oh, baby! Are we going to shill? Are we shilling, or is HiRit making it out? The Q coming in. It will not connect. HiRit, he's still alive. Cinkrof now coming in, trying to chase down the kill. That's the acceleration gate. Running for his life, but the scatter of the weak over the wall is going to finish it. It might have been a solo kill, but it won't quite happen. Neon now going in. That's a lot of shock from, and that math equation not working out in favor of BDS. It's the 2 for 1.
Who was the problem? Who was the problem in Schalke? Because now the 2v2 goal back in favor of Neon takes down his former teammate in Limit. Vetheo and Shlatan. Maybe there's going to be a mid 2v2 happening there, but action all across the map on it on both side lanes. Adam punishing HiRit's mistake for walking up way too far. No flash, of course. Manages to find almost a solo kill. NUCLEARINT arrives in time to clean up. And 2v2 in favor of Misfits. This Aphelios will be very dangerous later into the game, but this Sion is going to become so tanky.
Yeah, and of course the good news on the Eclipse is that you're going to get percentage armor shred, so that on top of some more armor. Hold that thought, as now we're going to have Cinkrof in trouble. NUCLEARINT trying to throw in a little bit more damage for the backup. Mersa going to get taken. No! Mersa living with a shred of HP. Misfits just walking away with the free kill.
Yeah, fantastic play by Mersa there. Just walks up to Cinkrof, doesn't even try to throw the hook. He knows he has flash, so Flay instant hook. Lanterns in Vetheo. I don't know what this replay is going to be. It's going to be bot lane, so a lot happened here. The 2v2 in favor of Misfits. I believe probably the route into hook is what they did. There it is, route into hook. Exhaust dropped onto Neon, but the 2v2 begins. Matty actually eing forwards there. He could have escaped the fight, but he thought he could take down Neon. And like you said, so many chakrams. Does kill Limit in the end. 1-for-1 trade, at least, from the Yuumi.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get hit by that ult there, nothing will happen, because there with that gun combo, you can't actually generate reliably any chakrams whatsoever. Only the ulti giving Neon that additional AD steroid, and leaping into melee range of a white gun Aphelios. It's not objectively inting, but it's definitely a bad decision.
Yeah. It's against the law. You would know as an Aphelios connoisseur yourself. I know you love Aphelios. You're a little Aphelios main.
I like champions where if I read and understand the kit, I'm considered big brain. Aphelios is one of like 2.
Yeah, and then still, I think to this day, people have no clue what Aphelios does. I'm convinced. I don't know how many years it's been out, but I'm just convinced sometimes my solo teammates have no idea what this champion does.
The real 200 years is when people finally understand Aphelios. That's what we're waiting on.
Yeah, it's pro players even say this sometimes. They're like, well, you know, champions that are very off-meta, like if I pick Singe top or, you know, Garen.
Support.
As much as you know the champion, sometimes you don't really know the limits of the champion, then you can say, well, he doesn't know what he does and I killed him, right? In the scrim or in the competitive game. Eventually you learn, of course, but sometimes you don't really know the limits of certain champions.
Yeah, that is definitely the strength of off-meta picks, and now the Herald that Misfits were able to secure earlier, used on the bottom side, that's going to be big. And Aphelios, while maybe you don't understand his kit, you know he's going to get pretty strong pretty quickly when he has that much gold funneled into him. HiRit still trading back and forth with Adam, but you can see just really not that much damage in the face of the plated steel caps and the bramble vest. So Misfits going to pretty comfortably hold on to a 2k gold lead. HiRit has not played against the boss enough in solo queue. Is Adam now going to walk forward? Another decimating smash. Here comes the ultimate. Oh, there it is. The solo bolo.
Weepy in top lane. Adam is taking over this lane. He's going to be up in CS, up in levels. That's a solo kill for him. Forced his flash earlier. Gave NUCLEARINT another kill. This Jayce matchup not working for Misfits ever since Adam died to that early gank from Cinkrof. Really feels like Shlatan hasn't really been around enough for him to be able to push this lane and get a big enough advantage to punish Adam. And yeah, this is the classic, you know, you're in a competitive game or you're in a scrim and you're the jungler, you're the mid, and you're like, yeah, I can play Jayce. They counter pick to Sion, I'll have perma push, and then the tank kills your carry top, and you're like, wait, is it over? Did we just lose? Is Jayce in the game anymore? He's level 9. Adam's level 11.
Yeah, so the bad news for Misfits is top lane is over, and sadly this is HiRit's second game in a row where he's dying a lot. We saw it with the Gnar yesterday as well. The good news is mid lane, bot lane, set up for success. So unlike last season where we saw a lot of topside carry for the Misfit lineup, now we have an opportunity to see mid and bot bring it home. But it is going to be a tall task because that Sion is going to be completely unkillable and a nightmare to deal with in fights.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's like when you pick Jayce as well. They pick Malphite. Oh, I'll have perma push. Malphite kills your Jayce. Oh my lord. What's the game plan, guys? I don't know. But the game plan for Misfits for now is a Herald. Swap HiRit out of top. Let Vetheo be the one to take that top tier 1. And they can still match their AP Sylas into the Sion. But yeah, he's just become tankier and tankier and tankier. And Matty is scaling very well in this Yuumi HiRit. No flash.
Matty may be overstaying his welcome. No CC, no follow-up there, though. That means he can just walk away. Herald is going to drop uncontested. Misfits, with Vetheo pushing in on the top side, are set to further extend this gold lead. 3K now, going to grow a little bit more once that Herald gets used. Caedrel, you talked about it a lot over the course of the week. Mid lane, tier 2 is certainly an option, but without a real strong side laner, it feels like we expect Misfits to put that one down in the mid.
Yeah, and probably going to go into that mid tier 1 when Dragon spawns in a minute's time. Misfits have 2 Dragons under their belt. They can use the Herald for priority mid. Vetheo can base and move mid as well, so expect a big Dragon fight to happen. Double exhaust on the side of BDS because Adam is running Spellbook. And it's going to be about mid-wave contesting.
Yep. Hard for Matty to approach the wave here, especially up against the Inferno, but Q range makes it pretty easy. Neon going to be forced back there at least a little bit as NUCLEARINT pushes it on the top side. Caedrel, we are set up with this Chemtech Soul and a Sion in the game for double zombie Sion.
Oh yeah.
Which I just want to put that out there after our SK game experience yesterday. Not the solo cast part, but the part before that.
Our experience?
Well, for 30 minutes I was a part of it. The last 20 I was pretty MIA, but you know, we'll do the same here.
Wait,
speaking of MIA, Misfits are now moving in to try to save HiRit.
We have Vin Diesel at home. What was that drift at him? Absolutely whiffs the drift. Can't get onto HiRit. He had no flash. I think if he gave it a little more handbrake turn there. He would have got onto the Jayce, but still no ult for the Sion now. Herald in mid for the push. Drake spawns. BDS gonna start it.
BDS now pushing into this. Obviously, mid lane tower will go down in exchange. Misfits not really looking too much to contest this one. Vetheo can walk in and try to stop it. BDS waiting in the Chemtech Rift, hiding in the darkness. Mersa has to be careful. Now Vetheo in the area, can try to knock out Shlatan ult and instantly Cinkrof now leaping in. Can they steal this dragon? Can they take it away? Shlatan so incredibly low, will not be able to get it. Vetheo with the stolen ultimate now going in. Cinkrof following up. It's Zhao ult versus Zhao ult in a messy battle in the pit. Vetheo goes golden. Rest of the team now walking away. They get mid lane. Vetheo firing back at least a little bit. Adam being forced away, but right now it's BDS coming out on top in the fight.
Yeah, 2 kills for BDS and the dragon. They stopped the soul point on Misfits. A little bit hairy in the pit there because Shlatan was alive when the dragon got down to 1000 HP, but he died before he could smite it. Look at Mersa's HP, already poked out. Shlatan goes in, and yes, he does die in the pit, but look at NUCLEARINT. I believe there's some kind of knockback from Vetheo here. Watch Vetheo. Does land the E, and then from there, the ult from him knocks NUCLEARINT into HiRit. HiRit finishes off NUCLEARINT, gets the kill. Adam just absolutely unkillable, and Misfits realize it. Neon can't be in the fight. Let's all leave. Give him up and try to push out waves. That fight was pretty much unwinnable the second Shlatan and Vetheo were falling, and Drake over to BDS.
Yeah, good start. One step closer to Chemtech Soul. Happy to have that additional damage against targets with higher max health. Won't matter for Adam, but it might help xMatty and NUCLEARINT out in the fights to come up against Vetheo and Shlatan. Something to keep our eyes on, certainly, and a start for BDS. They are still down 3k gold. They're still down 3 towers, but if they can find a fight, if they can find an advantage, that is just standing gold waiting to be taken. You're waiting in the darkness here, though, playing with a good amount of confidence. Will be spotted on the way out.
Yeah, the problem is HiRit. I don't think he can go bot. And, I mean, he can catch waves on the tower, but he can't pressure this matchup. I think he loses out 1v1 against the Sion for now. Gonna need some armor penetration if he wants to win that. NUCLEARINT has flash. Misfits playing towards the top side here. Not actually playing for their Jayce lane, just making sure Vetheo can push in top waves and move mid.
The ult. Is it the Tokyo Drift? Nope. Another LEC whiff, but getting a little bit closer every time. Adam trying to find purchase there with that ultimate.
You miss every shot you don't take, Drakos. Yeah. Adam had bot push, he had ult up. Meh, let's see what happens. Ran out of gas just before he was able to connect onto Neon. And now NUCLEARINT, Vetheo's looking for him.
Lockdown. I like the play there coming in from Vetheo, trying to slow down NUCLEARINT, backing away, doesn't want to overcommit there. NUCLEARINT with enough spheres laid down certainly could take Vetheo down.
Yeah, Adam needs the base. He's been wandering the whole map ever since he tried to ult onto Neon. HiRit's been able to push bots from his own tier 1 all the way to Adam's tier 2, and the wave will slowly start to bounce. So overstayed a little bit there. Still building full armor though, knowing that of course only Sylas is the only magic damage. Game will slow down a bit as expected. I feel like, I don't know what the percentage is, but every single game that I've seen so far is always coming down to a Dragon Soul.
Absolutely is, and we've seen how messy games will get with a Chemtech Soul. So whoever gets this one is going to be feeling pretty good, but in general, it's just going to lead to a very, very scrappy game. The other side, if they want to claw back against the Chemtech Soul, is really going to have to work for it. That said, 2 items for the Ezreal, now completed, feeling pretty comfortable at this point in the game. Adam getting closer and closer to that second armor item, and Neon's not going to be able to do a lot of damage to that Sion for a pretty long time. Going for BT second, maybe an IE third, but you have to feel against the Sion. He'd probably opt for the Dominics. Either way, it is going to be a little bit tough. Again, good news, Chemtech Rift, bonus damage against people with more health than you, and Sion will pretty much always have more health than you. So if you also have Lord Dominics and you also have Cut Down, that is a fatty percentage steroid against the Sion.
Yeah, definitely is really good to point out there. We'll see if Misfits can get any Chemtech Dragons as well to get that buff. The Zonas, of course, helps out. But you're completely right, Neon's going to need at least 3 items, and after the Dominics, he's going to need an Infinity Edge as well. Adam grouping up mid once again, wants to ignore bot waves. Mid contest is here, 1 minute on Dragon. A little bit of poke, but Limit should be able to heal that straight back up.
It is important to call out that HiRit, despite being relatively down, all things considered 2-4-1, still has been farming very well, still is at 2.5 items.
That's a shutdown.
A Jayce with the Shock Blast on the side can still be a big threat in the fight, but has to be careful, because yeah, he's got a bounty on his head.
Shlatan emoting a bit here. We'll get chunked out a lot.
Take it down, that's the Ignite, has to flash away. Oh, buddy, you might want to hold on to that emote.
Damn, walked up, pressed S in the Adam Q, thinking it wouldn't hit, and just emoted him. Gets punished for it, and now Misfits might lose a mid-tier 1, because what's Matty scared of? What's Cinkrof scared of? Looks like the wave clear from Neon's blue gun will be enough. HiRit in the backside of their jungle sees the pink ward, doesn't want to get spotted, but Adam thinks he's around here somewhere. Dragon in 20 seconds. If they can find HiRit before that, that would be massive. Vetheo is also looking for the flank.
Good news is there were no major objectives on the map, so Shlatan just giving up his flash and about half a turret's worth of HP for that mistake. Definitely not one he'll make twice, but ooh, big chunk on a NUCLEARINT. This is the value of the Jayce. Yes, he did lose the laning phase, but still massive damage coming in from those empowered shock blasts on the squishier members of the side of BDS.
Yeah, look at Limit's mana. It's below half right now. He has a little bit of mana regen, but if this poke keeps landing and he has to keep using mana to heal his team up, might hurt them if the fight's extended. Dragon's gonna go down.
200 getting lower and lower. They're going to grab their second Chemtech Drake. Adam now running in, flash away. Adam amidst the entire team. Neon trying to fire back, get a little bit more damage down. Cinkrof on the backside, but eyes on Vetheo. Eyes on Shlatan. They're in the back line, but how much more can they get done? xMatty still waiting over the wall. Vetheo, good follow-up, good damage. They're shredding BDS in the pit. 3 quick kills for the side of Misfits. Well played.
Yeah, I think Vetheo and HiRit can base here and TP towards Nash if they want to force it. Neon is against Matty. Matty's trying to slow them down. He wants to poke them down as much as possible so they can't get Baron. Vetheo's behind him.
Getting pincered in. Prediction! The biggest brain we have ever seen. Vetheo now coming in. It was a flawless exchange there, taking down Limit as well. Whew.
Bow down to King Vetheo. His name in his OPGG is 2022 MVP of the Spring Split. And plays like that might get him it. We'll see if Misfits can get the Baron down. NUCLEARINT and Adam are up and they have TP, but as we look at the replay again, BDS just corralled into this pit, herded like sheep. They couldn't get out. If you want to get out of this pit, you're going to have to commit flashes. So Adam tries to turn, but I feel like NUCLEARINT's positioning was just off. Neon misses the ultimate, which would have done so much damage to the backline. But watch NUCLEARINT here. Tries to stop Vetheo, ults him, but if the Syn's out, he flashes in towards Neon, dies. Matty ease out of the pit and leaves Adam to the wolves. And then this prediction from Vetheo, absolutely beautiful. Ease over the pit, saves his chain, shows himself to Matty and says hello, and then just throws his E to where he knows the E will land.
He
throws his flash.
As the E animation, I think they throw it out same time. That is the hardest read. Like, damn. xMatty's name changing to Dr. Seuss after this. He's so embarrassed, dude. That was the freest read of my life.
4.2k damage dealt. We said Vetheo was the only AP damage and it might struggle against the front line of BDS, but Vetheo just mows them down. I wonder if Neon has built towards a mini Last Whisper at least, because he definitely needs some armor penetration. Yes, he has. So we'll have the Dominic soon. Now, quite a hefty gold lead in favor of Misfits. They need to make sure that they can dissect the map here a bit, get this bot tier 2, which Vetheo is stacking away for. See, he's not pushing the wave, he's waiting for his team to push mid, and then for them to collapse bot. Doesn't want to fast push it, playing patiently and smart.
Yeah, and again, the value of the Sion is front to back, but if Misfits can corral BDS again, if Misfits can find access to that backline, Vetheo can kill so many of those members. 9-stack Medjais, you've got a Sorelda's Grudge coming in for the Jayce now at this point in the game. Most of the members of BDS are very squishy. Adam, if he can block all that damage, BDS is sitting pretty. If he cannot, Misfits are poised to tear apart this BDS lineup.
Really big wave here for Misfits. I don't think they can walk up and hit the tower though. Adam is going to stand in front of it, and he's got his ult ready in case anyone walks up too far. I think tier 2's first Baron normally nets you tier 2s. It's very rare for a first Baron to crack open a base, but Adam's looking for Neon.
Not going to connect, he's just going to have to walk away there. Just fishing with the ultimate, trying to find something, ultimately unsuccessful.
Yeah, and I will say Adam had a fantastic lane phase, but the team fights just seem to be falling apart. HiRit's found its way back into the game. If anything, he's way further ahead than Adam is now. And now the next objective for Misfits is this top tier 2. I think Neon and Mersa will start to move towards mid soon.
Definitely feels very difficult for BDS to play out at this point, especially when Misfits are splitting them across so many lanes. Vetheo is so strong individually in the 1v1. Luckily, Cinkrof has the third auto, so can just disengage immediately. But Shlatan now coming in, going in onto Cinkrof. Cinkrof holding on the ultimate for now, is just going to go for the knockup immediately with the follow. Vetheo on a rampage, and that Sylas is just too fed.
Yeah, Neon can hit onto bot tower now. Yuumi is still with the Sion, so there's 3 members bot. That leaves open mid, that leaves open top. Misfits pushing all 3 lanes. BDS don't have enough numbers to hold it.
Slow, steady advance from Misfits. First Baron of the game, 26 minutes. We got used to seeing such long games yesterday, such long games in the LCK, but here, Misfits are going straight for the throat. They're going to try to finish this one quickly. One inhibitor already down, set up to take a second as well. BDS have to be very careful. Next mistake will probably cost them the game.
Yeah, they did damage to the base, a huge dent in it. Mid inhib's down, top tier 3 is down, bot tier 3 is really low. Shlatan's taking away all their jungle camps. Full pink wards deep into their jungle. Dragon in 30 seconds. Misfits gonna play it slow. Base, get the dragon. Don't overcomplicate the game. Don't give BDS a way back into it. And I think Neon should have a full Last Whisper upgrade as well. There it is.
And that's massive. Lord Dominic's now coming through. Almost a death cap completed for Vetheo with the double need to see large rods. At this point, whatever we said about compositions, not very relevant unless BDS can stall for 10, 15 minutes. Because right now, Misfits are just going to beat them down with their wallets. 10k gold lead, 27 minutes into the game. There is no way BDS can come to contest this Drake.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing signs of what the future of Misfits might look like this year. Shlatan and Mersa, exact same scoreline, pairing up perfectly around Dragons. Very good communication on picks and on setup. Vetheo, primary carry on Sylas. Last pick given to him, performance is showing it. And Neon, just this consistent rock. HiRit a little bit up and down throughout the lane phase. He was ignored a little bit for the first 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe Shlatan could have been around a little bit more often, but this is a brand new lineup for Misfits. This is a brand new year for Misfits, and with a brand new jungle support, these things can happen. But early wins into the season like this are massive.
Super impactful, especially when you expect the season to be so incredibly close. Kind of hard to get a read on a lot of these teams in the middle of the pack. Easy when you come into the league before you've seen any gameplay to assume Fnatic and Vitality are going to be the favorites, but with Vitality dropping down those first 2 games, it just makes it that much more of a mess as we get closer to playoffs. It is only week 1. This is only the 3rd game of the season, but Misfits kicking off with the 2-1 would be fantastic for the Misfits fans out there, especially showing their new AD carry is finding a home. Their new jungler from the LFL, from the Misfits Premier lineup, is having a solid performance as well.
And Misfits are back for more. They've all based, they've all bought their items, they've all cleared their buffs, and NUCLEARINT might find HiRit here as he walks up to the tower. Stun connects.
Scout of the week, clean, good follow-up damage here. Now leaping in, I think just trying to get the shield off the Eclipse.
He tried to flash Q auto E to proc Eclipse and run away, perhaps. That's the only way he could realistically live, I think. Matty did help out with a little bit of the damage. NUCLEARINT gets the kill. Flash for flash trade, but that means Misfits is going to back off. Baron in 30 seconds. We'll see if they can find more. Flash forwards from Cinkrof.
Onto Vetheo, trying to snare his way back over the wall. Now going to try to turn it with the Zhao ultimate. Good heads-up play to block any follow-up damage coming from the Ezreal. Now it's Neon off to the side. Now going in, he can slow down Cinkrof. There's no hope for Cinkrof in this one. Shlatan leaping in, locking up xMatty. Vetheo hoping to finish the kill, but Shlatan will burn him down with the red smite. More than enough now as he gets pulled back into the midst of the base. Adam and Limit walking away from this one. Hook goes in, connects on the Sion. Maybe not an ideal target though. Mersa going golden at the perfect moment. Neon again stepping forward, not afraid to throw down a bit of damage. Adam, the last man standing here, and sorry, a tank's just not going to be enough. Misfits with absolute confidence from a disastrous top side to a confident win against BDS. Misfits will end this Super Week 2-1.
Great showing from Misfits. Massive props to the jungle support, massive props to Vetheo as well. Really consistent in these skirmishes. The predict on the Ezreal put almost like one of the first nails in the coffin for BDS. Yes, you had so much frontline, but where is your backline? Well, Vetheo's dealing with them handily. Neon consistent damage. HiRit found his way back into the game, picking up a few kills in those skirmishes as well. And I think that's probably Misfits' cleanest game so far.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it felt super, especially after a difficult early laning phase for HiRit, as we highlighted earlier. I think it's such a good sign that they did not let that get to them, that they stayed focused. And you saw in those team fights the power of having both this J4, this Jayce, and the Sylas is that NUCLEARINT, even though he was doing fine, had to hold Scout of the Week for so many skills, and NUCLEARINT couldn't do anything. HiRit, I mean, it's tough. Individually, rough performance. Made a lot of individual mistakes. At the end of the day, his team still found the win, so I hope he doesn't beat himself up too much. There is always next week. And the same goes for BDS. 1-2, not the worst start for a squad of rookies. Have to see how they develop in the weeks to come.
Yeah, HiRit a little bit disappointed in himself. The whole team coming to kind of shake him off, say, look, don't worry about it. It's a team game, just like you said. We'll carry you through this one. You'll carry us through the next one, perhaps one day. The Aurelia performance was outstanding by him. Jay's performance, a lot to be desired, but still a lot to take away from that game. And I think being very self-critical is always a good thing.
Absolutely is, but on the there's criticism and there's praise. And on the side of praise, we have key up player of the game at LEC on Twitter. Vetheo, Neon, or Mersa are going to be your options there.
I gotta give it to Vetheo. I always say that. We always skew the votes when we talk about this.
But I mean, Mersa, he came back in that mid game and for sure was in the right place at the right time so many times, hit good hooks. But that beginning was a little bit rough. Neon, again, solid across the board, but solid is great, but Vetheo smacked kids around. And luckily, you don't have to hear it from us. You can hear it from Lore and Vetheo, who are standing by.
Thank you, Drakos. Vetheo, thank you so much for joining me. Sick game on Sylas, I have to say. 2-1 here for you in this Super Week. How do you feel about the performance you had with Misfits? I don't think he can hear me for now, but maybe something we can triage with the production while we wait. We can see him. Vetheo, can you hear me? Not yet. No? Okay. Well, I do want to touch on the fact that Misfits had a great showing this week in this Super Week, even though they had 2 young players, which is something I want to talk to him about, so hopefully we can get him on camera as soon as possible.
I feel like... hear you, but...
And you can hear me now. Vetheo, are you here? No? Okay, well, we're going to toss to break for now, but we'll be back hopefully with Vetheo and a working microphone in a short bit. Stay tuned.